Name of the story is A Worker Bee's Job is Never Done, written by Mumtaz Masood and illustrated by Zara, age 7. Bella, the pretty little worker bee, woke up early in the morning to the fresh smell of nectar and royal jelly. The worker bees, as always, were very busy. Some were cleaning out the beehive, whilst the others were in the kitchen, making delicious food for the queen bee, whose job was to lay eggs. The queen bee had already laid 1,000 eggs. Life was buzzing, always buzzing in the beehive. A worker bee's job is never done, Bella chuckled to herself. She was very proud of being a honeybee and enjoyed making, well, honey. The queen bee was always very hungry and rather fussy. After laying around 2,000 eggs, she was famished. What is there for me to eat today? She asked. I am ravenous. The cooks have made lots of royal jelly, Your Highness, Bella told her. Oh, I suppose it's made of pollen and nectar from the same old flowers. You worker bees only collect from daffodils and tulips. I need a bigger variety. I fancy some royal jelly made from the nectar of the narcissus flower, the queen bee complained. But there are no narcissus flowers, mumbled one of the worker bees. I heard that, the queen bee said furiously. Please, Your Highness, don't be upset. I'm sure we will be able to find some narcissus flowers growing somewhere. Yes, agreed all of the worker bees. Your Highness, we will go straight away and we won't come back until we find some. It doesn't matter how long it takes. We want you to be happy. That's our job. That's what we are all here for, after all. Thank you, said the queen bee. I'll just eat the royal jelly you have prepared for now. So the matter was settled. Part 2. Bella stayed in the beehive and kept herself busy by making honey. Suddenly, she saw a strange-looking bee, who she had not seen before, sucking honey. She didn't seem like she wanted to work. She just kept sucking on the delicious food. The next day, the strange bee once again didn't do anything other than eat. This behavior of hers continued all week long. At first, the other worker bees didn't say anything out of politeness, but after a while, they started to whisper to each other. Well, said one worker bee to another, I don't think it's fair. I would be so ashamed of myself if I was that lazy and selfish, another bee added. Oh, said Bella, who was always kind-hearted and always liked to see the good in the other bee. I'm sure there is a reason for her to behave this way, she continued. Bella did not believe that talking behind anyone's back was the right thing to do. She went over to the strange-looking bee and kindly said, Dear little bee, would you like to help me to make honey? It's rather fun, you know. I would love to, replied the strange-looking bee. I tried to copy you, but I couldn't do it. Of course you can, said Bella encouragingly. I will teach you. However, it was true. The strange-looking bee couldn't make honey, despite the fact that she tried really, really hard and did everything Bella had asked her to do. I wonder, said Bella out loud. I think that you and I should go for a fly. They had only flown for a while when the strange-looking bee spotted someone. Mama! She cried. My baby! Said Mummy Bumblebee in a relieved voice. I have been looking for you everywhere. Suddenly, Bella realized that the strange-looking bee was different because she was a bumblebee, not a honeybee. She accidentally came into a hive, explained Bella. We thought that she was a honeybee. Thank you for looking after my baby," said Mummy Bumblebee gratefully. "She looks so radiant and healthy." "It was my pleasure," replied Bella. "Please do bring her to our beehive again and take as much honey as you'd like when you come." Mummy Bumblebee smiled, took a baby bumblebee under her wing, and flew off happily. Part 3. Life was peaceful and calm in the beehive. The queen bee loved the royal jelly made from the narcissus flower and did not complain about the food anymore. The queen was happy, so everybody else was happy too. One day, when Bella, as usual, was busy making honey, she noticed a strange looking thing with 8 legs and 8 eyes just outside the beehive, making strands of silk thread. Bella walked towards the strange thing and said, "Good morning. I am Bella the bee. Nice to meet you. I am Anthropod the spider," he replied, and carried on making strands of silk thread. "You have nice eyes, Anthropod," complimented Bella. "I have 8 eyes to be precise, the same number of my legs too. Everybody thinks I have lovely eyes, but I can't hardly see out of them." Seeing the sad look on Anthropod's face, Bella quickly changed the subject. "Tell me, what are you making? It's so pretty. It looks like strands of silk." "I am making a web, and you are right. I am making it with silk that is produced in my body. It's a very special silk that only spiders have," Anthropod replied proudly. "Oh, I wish I could do that too," said Bella. "It's so clever." "Thank you," said Anthropod, smiling happily. From that day on, Bella and Anthropod became very good friends. They were both fascinated by each other's talents. Anthropod was just as amazed with Bella at being able to make honey. Bella, however, did not like the fact that Anthropod used his web to trap little insects inside for him to eat. "We all have to eat, you know," Anthropod would say whenever Bella looked at him disapprovingly. "They're just tiny insects who don't feel anything, and were created as food for us spiders. Besides, all living things will die eventually. Nothing lives forever." Life was good. Bella had become very good friends with Anthropod the spider, who she thought was very wise. They had a good bond together. But one day, everything changed. Bella woke up to find that all of the beautiful flowers, leaves, and in fact every single bit of greenery had been eaten away. "What happened?" she asked, placing her hands over her head. "A swarm of locusts came at night. There were around 80 million of them, and they damaged everything," the queen bee screamed. "We are facing a famine. We're all going to die. We're going to be hungry and die." As usual, nothing positive to say. "How is crime and screaming going to hell?" whispered one of the worker bees under her breath. "I heard that," said the queen bee, and started to throw a tantrum. Bella tried to calm the queen down. "Don't worry, Your Highness. We have a lot of honey stored." "That will do for the time being," agreed all of the worker bees. When the queen wasn't listening, a meeting was held in the afternoon to decide what all of the worker bees were going to do. After much discussion, it was decided that they had no choice but to make a new hive somewhere else. Bella was horrified by the decision. "But I don't want to move. I don't want to leave a spider. I love it here." "We have to eat, darling," said Mummy Honeybee. "We have no choice." "Agreed," said all of the worker bees. Bella was very sad when she had to say goodbye to Anthropod the spider. "I will never be happy again," she cried, with tears dripping from her eyes. "I will miss you too," said Anthropod. "But we will always have our memories of the wonderful times we spent together." "That's how life works, I guess," he continued. "Things won't stay the same forever. We meet new friends and say goodbye to our old ones, but they always remain in our heart." Bella couldn't understand how Anthropod could be so brave. After the long journey, Bella the queen and the worker bees had all settled down in a spot where there were plenty of narcissus flowers, amongst many other flowers. At least now we wouldn't have to travel too far to collect nectar and pollen, said one of the worker bees, relieved. Good evening, said a bumblebee whose face seemed quite familiar to Bella. Welcome to the neighborhood. Good evening, replied Bella as she turned around to her mum and said, I think I'm ready to make new memories, but I will always remember Anthropod and all the good times we had together.